And by almost any metric you look at relative to, say 2004 through 2008 to today, trust in institutions, social trust, uh, have all declined, and tensions between in and out groups have all increased. And I think that's relevant for this kind of like romanticization, because even though circumstances may, qualitatively, I think, reflect that period of time, I think there genuinely was sort of a greater degree of social trust and institutional trust and actual genuine optimism at that time that people may not have now. It makes sense to me that that's something that people would be nostalgic for, because we think about institutional trust as sort of the grease that keeps democracy functioning well, right? Like, so if you believe that courts and law enforcement will deal fairly with you, and that you can trust your doctors, and that you can trust, Congress or state government or the federal government, at least to some extent, then you're more likely to use those institutions rather than seeking like extra institutional recourse. And as that declines, I think there's greater uncertainty, there's greater, certainly, social mistrust. There's also, it starts to, I think, degrade the level of optimism and hope and sense of options that people feel that they have. So it makes sense to me, I think, that people are romanticizing that, because even if we might look back at like some of the millennial fashion trends and cringe a little bit, socially at least, like dynamics were very different at the time.
But really, now looking back, we're like, oh, it's just the seeds of capitalism, like really teaching you to be joyful in it. You know what I mean? Like, of like, isn't it fun how we can monetize your civil rights and your social justice? And so I think you have a lot of people who learned that earnestness and then really had to deal with the fallout of it not really coming to pass.
But when you talk about the culture, if the culture prior to 2008 was extremely conservative, kind of on all fronts, the culture post 2008, and especially in 2012 onward, was very much the opposite.
But I think that's why now, with the state of the courts how it is, people are extra nervous, because if something can be once considered the law of the land and then taken away, clearly there are no laws of the land. Clearly all of this is porous if someone with enough power seeks to undermine it.